Hello and welcome to Educo Motivation. In this video, you'll learn all about the law of action, one of the 12 laws of the universe and the 5th in our series. You'll discover how to become a relentless action taker, capable of getting results that are beyond extraordinary. Watch right to the end if you want to create an incredible life filled with everything you want. Keep up to date with our latest videos by hitting subscribe and turning on notifications. Please show your support by clicking like. So let's get started. The law of action, one of the 12 laws of the universe, decrees that nothing happens without action. It requires directing your efforts to achieve favorable outcomes. Think of it this way, you're always manifesting something. So the law of action stipulates manifesting by design and not by default. Don't just go through the motions, direct your focus, channel your energy, and get what you want. You could be the most gifted, motivated, and deserving person in the world, but nothing will materialize unless you take sustained action. You simply must take action to get what you desire. Humans are physical beings living on a physical plane of existence who must take physical action to manifest physical things. As Wallace D. Wattles puts it, by thought, the thing you want is brought to you, by action, you receive it. Planning, visualizing, and affirming are all worthless. If you fail to take action, things will never manifest. Thoughts and feelings provide the impetus, but only action gets you to the end goal. Every action you take creates a result. Every action or inaction has a consequence. If you do nothing, then nothing happens. If you take action, you progress. It may not be a linear progression. Sometimes you will digress to learn a necessary lesson. Failure itself is failing forward. It has momentum. It provides lessons and course corrections. Failure is not a no. Failure is a not this way. Failure itself is nothing more than feedback. Feedback is the universe's reaction to your action. So never be afraid to fail frequently and quickly. Take the lessons and adjust your actions. Different inputs provide different outputs. The universe can only do for you what it can do through you. You are co-creating with the universe. If you are not willing to take the action, the universe won't be forthcoming with the reaction. This principle of duality means that if you take massive sustained action, the universe must match your contribution. Action signifies intent and commands the universe to create things with and through you. The universe is aware of all the innumerable variables required to materialize intentions. You just need to trust that things will happen in the order they are meant to. Have faith that everything will manifest in its proper sequence. All the while, keep up your end of the bargain. Keep taking sustained action en route to your goal. You have to realize that time is fleeting. Every minute wasted is an opportunity lost. The sad truth is that most people go to their graves never having realized their dreams. This is not due to lack of potential or lack of ability, but rather inaction and wasted time. Ultimately, time is transient, so spend it quickly on the right things before it spends you. We instinctively know what we should be doing, yet distraction is always a single click, tap, or button press away. Ultimately, you need to limit your options. Make it so that the only course you can take is the desired action. Eliminate distraction, put your phone in the drawer, plug out your TV, and get up early when everyone is asleep. Mahatma Gandhi once said that, "The future depends on what you do today." In this context, action attracts what resonates with it. Notice the word attraction contains the word action. In effect, you will not attract what you want unless you take the corresponding action. You have to show up every day. You have to build an incredible work ethic. You have to develop a sense of urgency by getting very specific on what you want, what you'll do, with whom, and when. Specificity is the key to high activity. The law of cause and effect is important here too. In effect, it states that every effect has its cause. Like causes produce like effects. Stated differently, there is a causal relationship between the results you get and the actions you take. In this context, you need to practice back from the future thinking. Project ahead to the result you want to achieve, then figure out the steps required to get there. Desire is the unexpressed possibility within, seeking expression without, through your action. In this context, desire is the cause and action is the effect. You need a burning desire to drive and sustain action. So what one thing would you dare to dream if you knew you could not fail? This is your innermost desire. This lights you up. This should be at least part of what you're striving for. Furthermore, make certain you never put things off. Never let procrastination kill your dreams. Do what you should do, when you should do it, whether you feel like it or not. Confucius once said, "The man who moves a mountain begins by carrying away small stones." This describes the cumulative effects of action over time. No matter how big the goal, it can be achieved by breaking it down into manageable action steps. So for example, if you want to write a book, set a goal to write 1 page every day. In this context, the cumulative effect of these small actions is a 365-page book fully written within 12 months. Don't come up with any excuses as to why you can't do it. Excuses are merely a commitment to failure. Excellence is a commitment to completion. As Emerson said, do the thing and you get the energy to do the thing. Proverbs 29 tells us, where there is no vision, the people perish. You need to realize that action is always preceded by vision. This reminds me of the story of a sculptor that chipped away at a block of granite for several years. One day he was visited by a man who looked in awe at the figure taking shape inside the granite. The sculptor asked the man what he thought of his work, to which the man replied, "Mister, how did you know that guy was in there?" Smiling, the sculptor replied, "I just chipped away all that was not him." I think this story beautifully illustrates the point that when you start with the end in mind, every action takes you to the realization of that vision. Put differently, when you impress the image of the thing you desire on your subconscious mind, it stirs your emotions, which compels your body to take the actions necessary to transmute that desire on the physical plane. This point can be further accentuated when you consider the story from ancient Greece of a man that stopped Socrates on the road and asked him how to get to Mount Olympus. Socrates responded, "Just make sure every step you take is in that direction." The key point here is that action without planning is the cause of every failure. You have to take the time to ensure the steps you take are moving you in the direction of your goal. Then you have to prioritize the steps and work each of those steps through to completion in order of priority. This really is the key to success. But don't waste time. If you keep putting things off, you'll eventually run out of time. Furthermore, how you feel determines how you act. If you feel confident and believe in a successful outcome, you will take the necessary action. If you are apprehensive and think success is unlikely, then you are less likely to act. In effect, we don't get what we want, we get what we expect. If you expect success, you'll act accordingly. If you expect failure, every action will be less effective. You also need to outsmart your future self. You do this by knowing rather than thinking. Allow me to elaborate. If you know you are going to the gym tomorrow, that's very different to thinking you might go to the gym tomorrow. The person who knows he or she is going has made up their mind. They have the decision made. They'll be there. They have committed to the action. Conversely, the person that thinks they might go has not committed. They have put off the decision. They will almost certainly not follow through. If you weave this principle into your life, you'll take your action ability to another level entirely. Remember, your dominant thoughts create your feelings. Ideas held in mind reproduce after their kind. Your thoughts determine your feelings, which determine your actions. This necessitates a certain level of awareness, mindfulness, and inner reflection. Realizing your emotional state impacts the actions you take provides the impetus to monitor that state carefully. President Truman once said that imperfect action is better than perfect inaction. This advice hits the nail on the head. Too many of us strive for perfection. We want all our ducks in a row before we take action. The problem is, all the ducks will never be in a row. It's a case of paralysis by analysis. The perfect time to start anything is now. You have to take a leap of faith. You have to assume the parachute will open. You have to surrender to the universe and let go of all resistance. Make the decision to take action now and commit to the process. Commitment is the precursor to action. William Hutchinson Murray captured this eloquently when he said, "Until one is committed, there is hesitancy, the chance to draw back, always ineffectiveness. Concerning all acts of initiative and creation, there is one elementary truth, the ignorance of which kills countless ideas and splendid plans, that the moment one definitely commits oneself, then providence moves too. All sorts of things occur to help one that would never otherwise have occurred. A whole stream of events issues from the decision, raising in one's favor all manner of unforeseen incidents, meetings, and material assistance, which no man could have dreamed would have come his way. Whatever you can do or dream you can, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. Begin it now." Commitment is a decision. You decide to commit or you decide not to. You get to make that decision for yourself, no one else. The truth is that most regrets in life don't come from trying and failing, but rather from not trying at all. Sometimes even the best laid plans are wasted due to your inability to overcome inertia. The thing is, it takes far more energy to initiate motion than it does to maintain momentum. A body in motion will remain in motion unless acted on by external forces. In order to perpetuate motion and maintain momentum, you need a burning desire. A burning desire is the fuel that will enable you to break free of the gravitational pull of your comfort zone. Progress doesn't happen in your comfort zone, it happens in your discomfort zone. You must be willing to feel uncomfortable. So make sure the thing you desire is so big, so exciting, so alluring, that you are compelled to leave your comfort zone and do whatever is necessary to attain it. Fear can impede action, but only if you allow it. You need to realize that the only way to overcome your fear is to face your fear. If you act in spite of your fear, you overcome your fear. You gain a tremendous amount of self-respect. Conversely, if you fail to act due to fear, then you forever remain a prisoner to that fear. Successful people act in spite of their fear. They do what they should do, no matter how petrified they might be. Of course, when it comes to action, the twin fears of failure and success are the greatest adversaries. A fear of failure arises when one assumes that their situation is hopeless, and no matter how much effort they'll expend, the end result will be failure. This elicits a "what's the use" mentality, along with complete and utter inaction. Conversely, a fear of success arises when one assumes the net effects of success are wholly undesirable. They feel ill-equipped to deal with the fallout of friends, family, and changes to their current lifestyle. This subconscious bias results in laziness, procrastination, and inaction. Positive self-talk, visualization, and journaling are effective methods to overcome such fears. It's important to note here that taking massive action does not mean you must do everything yourself. You can leverage other people's time, money, and energy in order to expedite your results. But to do that, you have to take the actions necessary to induce people to give you their time, money, and energy to begin with. Furthermore, you need to realize that every action counts. It either pushes you towards your goal or it pushes your goal away. You need to guard against counter actions. These refer to actions that push your goal away. So if your intent is to write a book, but you spend any spare time you have watching TV, then the act of watching TV is a counter action. You need to consider the opportunity cost of everything you do. If one thing is getting done, it means another thing isn't. It's up to you to turn should-dos into must-dos. Only then will you get the results you seek. Intuition refers to vibrations you pick up from the universe. It might be a gut feeling you get about something you should do, or you might randomly tune into someone else's conversation and gain an insight. Or you might have a compulsion to take steps that resonate with an inner knowing. Or perhaps while deep in thought, you get a sudden jolt in the form of a door swinging back on you, or someone backs their car into yours. In these moments, bring your attention back to what you were thinking at the moment of impact. It could well be the universe inviting you to explore that thought more deeply. Regardless what way inspiration comes to you, keep an open mind and always be ready to take action. There are further steps you can take to apply the law of action. Micro actions, for example, are a great way to get things going. This simply refers to taking one step in the direction of your goals. This might be as simple as opening your laptop. That one micro action triggers another. Suddenly, your word processing software is open and you're writing the first line of your new book. Or it might be lacing up your running shoes. This overcomes the inertia of sitting around watching TV. It provides the impetus to go for a jog. And if you jog to a certain landmark, guess what? Now you have to jog the same distance to get back home. Action breeds action. Do the thing and you get the energy to do the thing. When you keep stringing micro actions together, you form a habit. Suddenly, consistent action is your way of being. Each step forward is progression towards your goal. Progression demands consistent action taken over a period of time. Habitual behaviors form and friction fades. Only then will the universe provide the results you seek. Having a list of daily disciplines will keep the momentum going. Daily disciplines are particular actions you commit to taking every single day. String enough of these together and your life will transform in immeasurable ways. Of course, one cannot dominate the world by altering the natural order of things. You don't resist gravity, you accept it, you work with it. In every instance, the law of action requires that you move with the flow. Find ways to move with the current. Electricity requires that you move from a higher potential to a lower potential. When you plug a lamp into the wall, the flow of electricity reduces to what the appliance can handle. So too must you work within the forces of nature. Don't force things to happen. Allow things to occur naturally. Force negates. Have you ever seen a martial artist in action? They don't resist forces. They flow with the power and not against it. If you are operating in harmony with the law, then everything will feel effortless. You'll find it easy to get into a state of flow. Hours will pass and it will feel like minutes. The work may be challenging, but you'll be so enraptured and energized by it that it won't feel like work. You'll be in tune, on top, and going for it. You'll be motivated, and things will flow freely and easily. Mantras are a powerful way to attune your actions to your thoughts. If you get distracted, repeat the phrase, "back to work," several times in quick succession. Say, "back to work, back to work, back to work." This simple phrase compels you to get back to work. If procrastination slows you down, repeat the phrase, "do it now," until you're moved to action. Say, "do it now, do it now, do it now." Self-discipline is the ability to give yourself a command and follow it. "Do it now" is one of the best action-oriented commands you can give yourself. If you're struggling to get up when the alarm goes off, repeat the phrase, "if it's to be, it's up to me," until you are moved from your slumber. Say, if it's to be, it's up to me. If it's to be, it's up to me. If it's to be, it's up to me. This compels action because you assume complete responsibility for your success or failure. Sadhguru once said, "The world is round, so which direction you go doesn't matter. As long as you go without changing direction, you'll complete the journey." Put differently, excellence is a commitment to completion. Once you set the course, stay the course, tune out all distractions, and see it through to the end, no matter what. Sadhguru went on to say that, if you change direction, it will put you into an endless state of always being lost. So you need to direct all action to one definite end. Don't multitask, don't disperse efforts across too many goals. Focus on one goal, one task, one outcome. See each individual part through to its conclusion and don't stop until all the parts are completed in order of importance. Do that and you will prevail. Of course, you always need to finish what you started. Never ever quit. If you never quit, you can't be beat. If you never quit, the universe must give you what you want. It can't be any other way. Keep up to date with our latest videos by hitting subscribe and turning on notifications. Please show your support by clicking like. Be sure to click the next video on your screen right now. This features the next law in our series, the law of perpetual transmutation of energy. It reveals how you can manipulate your own energy to create preferential results in your life. Done right, there is literally nothing you can't have.